The Toyota Corolla Spacio, what we commonly know as the Spacio in Uganda, was first produced in Japan in 1997. Now, it received facelifts along the way, and that's where the Ugandan brokers and mechanics coined the term super. You know, when you go to buy a Spacio, they will ask you, Oyagada ordinary, super, or a new model. Now, let me show you. This is the Spacio ordinary old model. Now, this is the Spacio super old model. Now, they will ask you all sorts of questions to make sure that you understand what it is. Now, you need to understand that the Spacio was produced as a 5-seater, but was also produced as a 7-seater. Now, the 7-seater was liked by many, but was not so common. Why? I can't tell you. Now, later on, after these facelifts that made it look nice, in 2001, the Spacio was introduced to the European market, but not as a Spacio. No, it was called the Corolla Verso. You know, that's what Toyota does. In Japan, it produces a different name, but when it takes it to the European market, it rebrands it, probably to make it feel special. Let me tell you what happened. Later on, they introduced what we call the new model. I think this is all you need to know. Why is the Spacio very popular? One, the Spacio never really breaks down. How many times have you found the Spacio broken down on the road? Me? Never. Have you? How many times have you seen a Spacio in the garage stranded? Me? Never. Why? It's very easy to fix. The spare is readily available. And what? You need to know that the resale value is actually high. People be looking for Spacios all the time. I'm probably interested to know why you're watching this video. You want to buy a Spacio, right? And you're debating whether to buy this one or this one. Well, whichever you buy, let me tell you the difference. Now, the first Spacio, which we know as the Spacio Ordinary, came with 2 engines, the 1.6 and the 1.8. Now, the 1.6 engine is what we call the 4A. Kati engine yaberangako ne mu primo. Yaberangamu ne mu primo. So if you want to understand, it's a very good engine on fuel consumption. Then there was a 1.8, which was not popular in Uganda. The 1.6 was very popular in Uganda because, well, tenyo mafuta. And that's why people like the Spacio. Also, the Spacio body really never breaks down. It's popular. It's a metal or steel. It's very strong. The car is also strong on the road. If you fix it very well, it will rarely ever break down. Now, the new model, Jetumanyi, comes also with the 1.5 liter Jebaita 1NZ or the 1.8 liter 1ZZ, which people don't like. People like the 1.5 liter because it's good on the fuel. If you compare the new model Spacio to the old model, the difference is, well, the design. The interior of the new model, looks better, and the fuel consumption of the new model will save you about 20% on the fuel. So if you have the budget to buy the new model, my brother, buy the new model. Now, even the new model has a 5-seater version and a 7-seater version. You can decide which one. However, I would recommend if you're going to buy 1.5 liter Spacio, just buy the 5-seater version because abantu musambe moto kujja kuboji menya. And I think that's why these C-enters break down quite often because bajigula ne bagitikanga batika ipsam. We have a Toyota Spacio here. This is the old model. It's it's a very popular car. Very popular. And we'll just check the year of manufacture. Like I said, to know the year of manufacture, you check the seat belt. And if it's still clear, it will tell you. And this one was manufactured in 1999, as you can see. So the Toyota Spacio is a very popular car. Ladies drive it, men drive it. Before the new model came out, people drove it specifically because it saves a lot of fuel, and when it's handy, it's very easy to maintain because the spare parts are readily available whenever you want it. So this particular one has 5 seats, but there are versions that have 7 seats. And because it has 5 seats, it has more storage space in the boot, more than the one that has 7 seats. Yeah. So I have a gentleman here, the owner of the car. It doesn't belong to me. And like I said, we share first-hand information for the person that wants to buy a Spacio. So he's going to be telling us what his experience is driving this particular one, what problems he has faced, and if he would recommend someone to buy it. So good evening, Sebo.
Good evening.
So my followers on For the Love of Cars, many of them have been wanting to buy a Spacio, but their debate is, should I buy a Spacio new model or old model? Of course, the old model would be cheaper for them to buy if they don't have a big budget. But would you be in position to tell us everything about this car, your experience? How long have you driven it for?
I've driven this car for almost now 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and my experience is it's a pretty strong car, and its clearance is actually good. Like for of course, if you're driving in town, its clearance is pretty good, and its fuel consumption is really fair.
Yeah,
its fuel consumption is really fair. What else can I tell you about
how many kilometers does a liter take you?
It is on average around 11 kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is if you don't have traffic, of course. If you're not driving in those low gears, it's around there.
What is the hardest thing you have had, the most expensive thing you have had to repair on your Spacio in the 3 years you have driven it?
I had to repair its gearbox. I think it's the most expensive thing I've repaired. But I mean, again, if the gearbox is repairable, then it means you can actually survive with this car. Yeah.
So what did the mechanics tell you caused the failure of the gearbox?
Well, it was quite too technical for me to understand.
Was it your fault?
I must guess, of course, they say it would really be my fault. Actually, they told me something like I knocked something, and maybe something knocked my gearbox or something. So that's why it stopped actually changing gears.
So it's possible that the cranks was hit by maybe a stone, and then the hydraulic wasn't going to the right places. So the gearbox, on average, annually, how much do you spend on repairs?
On repairs annually, this is something I can't really easily estimate, because besides service, of course, repair, I could put it at around 1.2. That is giving each month about 100K.
Yeah, that's if you change bushes. Yeah, on average, I think it's the bushes that how many times have you changed the shock absorbers?
I last changed shocks about a year ago.
So so someone could say that you would say annually you would change shocks, depending on where you drive. Could we just say, look at your odometer? Okay, so this one has 193,000 kilometers on the clock. It has a digital clock, which is really attractive. So 190, that's very good. I have a friend that bought a Fielder new, and it had 180 on the clock before him driving it, which was not good. So let's just look at the engine. Okay, so you see it has the 4A engine. 4A. This is the same engine that you would sometimes find in Chikumi. Yeah, and you can also find it in a Toyota Primo, the old model. Yeah, very compact, very easy to the air cleaner. I think the air cleaner goes up for about 20 to 25k. Yeah, and you can buy also the small battery for the guys that are worried about battery cost. You can put this one. I think this small battery is about 150, not 250 like the way the big ones are. Now, normally I tell you guys, if you're buying a car and you're going to need air conditioning, you need to look at the system down here, and if these parts here are not intact, or one of the pipes is broken, or you can actually see this catimba down there if it's broken, or sometimes you could actually look at the frame down here. If the frame is not in its right place, and the AC fan as well, you can test it sometimes. If it's not in the right place, then you know you're going to spend 1 million or a little over to repair it. Yeah, so it's very easy. One of the reasons people would want to buy the Spacio is maintenance is cheap, and as you heard, he spends about 1.2 annually on repair. He has driven it for 3 years, and the biggest thing he has had to repair was the gearbox.